This impeachment proceeding is a whole new level of psychological operations that would probably first confuse and then absolutely delight even the father of public relations himself, Edward Bernays. And stay with me, guys, because this is incredibly fascinating. Eric Swalwell and intelligence community is about as oxymoronic as tight slacks, jumbo shrimp, clearly confused, and deafening silence. But that didn't stop the gun-grabbing representative from taking center stage in the bread and circus's stage show under the big top. Take it away, Eric.
Who've spoken with President Trump. However, you are witnesses to a shakedown scheme that others participated in who spoke with President Trump. However, Ambassador Bolton and Mick Mulvaney both spoke directly to President Trump, and unlike you, they have refused to honor our request for them to be a part of these proceedings. Nonetheless, we do know how Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney feels about aid because on October 17, at a press conference, he discussed the hold on security assistance for Ukraine. Ambassador Taylor, I'd like you to listen to what he said.
The monitor doesn't work for Swalwell, but here's the clip that he was supposed to play.
But to be clear, what you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well.
We do that all the time with foreign policy.
Because the monitor didn't play in the hearing, Swalwell reads what you just heard. But listen closely.
I'll read it for you. It's in response to a question, but to be clear, what you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well. In response to that question, Mr. Mulvaney said, Mr. Taylor, we do that all the time with foreign policy. My question, Ambassador Taylor, the president conditioning security assistance on an investigation into his political opponent prior to this administration, is this something we would do all the time?
First of all, Joe Biden is only Trump's political opponent on this side of the curtain. They both work for the Zionists. Both Trump and Biden declared themselves to be Zionists. Like Swalwell, both Biden and Trump and every member of the Title 28, Section 3002, 15A federal corporation, which is what their law books define the United States to be, are working for the Zionist International Banking Cartel, which owns the Federal Reserve and the IRS. These are nothing but cartel members putting on the show to keep you in the dark about what's really going on. Second, quid pro quo is supposedly illegal. Mulvaney said it's something we do all the time. And you gotta admit, if you're honest, I'll give you this or do this for you if you give me that or do that for me could almost be described as one of the major pillars upon which the entirety of politics rests. For example, we're in the middle of something they like to call a maximum pressure campaign with Iran. The other word for it is sanctions. Anytime you're sanctioning a country, you've committed an act of war against them. What they're basically saying is, we're going to withhold any kind of aid, resources like food, medical supplies, and energy to your country as long as your leaders keep acting in ways we don't like. As soon as your leaders start acting the way we want them to act and doing the things we want them to do, well, then we'll allow the resources to flow back into your country. That is a quid pro quo. But listen to Taylor's response to, is this something we do all the time? In other words, is quid pro quo something we did all the time prior to this administration?
No, sir.
Why not?
We condition assistance on issues that will improve our foreign policy, serve our foreign policy, ensure that taxpayers' money is well spent. Those are and those conditions are either coming from the Congress or from policy decisions stemming from authority Congress has given us to make sure that the taxpayers' money is well spent, or that the receiving country takes the actions in our national interest.
The first part of his answer was emphatically, no, sir, we don't do quid pro quo. And then everything he said and described after that was that's all we do is quid pro quo. This is one big fat new level of psychological operations to twist the minds of people so bad that nobody's calling out these clear, nonsensical contradictions. And to watch it all unfold unchallenged is amazing and frightening. Conditioning assistance on things that will improve your foreign policy is quid pro quo. It's basically, we will assist you if you do something for us. Something that'll improve our foreign policy. They're getting all hung up on this whole Biden is Trump's political rival crap and sidestepping the hypocritical fact that while quid pro quo is illegal, it's something political leaders engage in all the time. And it's even something that's sanctioned by Congress all the time, as Bill Taylor just pointed out.
And you described in your text message exchanges that engaging in a scheme like this is, quote, crazy. Can we also agree that it's just wrong?
Yes.
Why is it wrong?
So saying something like this is wrong is to declare it to be immoral.
It's just wrong.
And the laughable irony is that Eric Swalwell, who could be the poster boy for immorality, is sitting there on that high chair stating that a quid pro quo which his fellow congressional puppets approve, engage in, and demand on a daily basis is wrong. And nobody calls this crap out.
Again, our holding up of security assistance that would go to a country that is fighting aggression from Russia for no good policy reason, no good substantive reason, no good national security reason is wrong.
Even though Biden was engaging in quid pro quos himself and jeopardizing national security. Got it.
Mr. Mulvaney in the same news conference said, quote, if you read the news reports and you believe them, what McKinley said yesterday, well, McKinley said yesterday that he was really upset with the political influence in foreign policy. That was one of the reasons he was so upset about this. And I have news for everybody. Get over it. There's going to be political influence in foreign policy. Ambassador Taylor, should we get over it?
What's funny about this is that Mulvaney, while he's just another political minion, was just being honest at that moment. And Swalwell is just parading his virtue signaling skill here.
If we're talking about political influence, meaning attempts to get information that is solely useful for political campaigns, if that's what he's talking about, we should not get used to that.
Taylor limits his answer to quid pro quo as it relates strictly to election campaigns, which is funny because while they all want to focus on the political opponent aspect, nobody wants to talk about Biden's clear withholding of $1 billion extorted taxpayer dollars being withheld unless Biden's demands were met. And they definitely won't talk about the crime of giving away Americans' money to Ukraine or any other country for that matter, when we don't even have our own house in order. And finally, Swalwell brings up Trump's Never Trumpers tweet.
Just about an hour before the two of you sat down to testify today, the president tweeted multiple times about this hearing, and he put in all caps, Never Trumpers. Mr. Kent, are you a Never Trumper?
I am a career non-professional who serves whatever president is duly elected and carries out the foreign policies of that president in the United States, and I've done that for 27 years for 3 Republican presidents and 2 Democrat presidents.
So does that mean he's a professional career non-professional? Because if you made a career out of being a non-professional, then you must be a professional non-professional. I guess in a hearing like this, that makes perfect sense.
Ambassador Taylor, are you a Never Trumper?
No, sir.
Well, the Congressional Mafia is staying its course. Guys, help me overcome YouTube's censorship and suppression by liking and sharing this video with everybody you know, everywhere you can on social media. And leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Before you go, check out our new shirt designs in the shirt store. Here's the Beta Hates America design. Hell no, you're not taking my AR-15. And nobody needs an AR-15. Well, nobody needs a whiny little bitch either. And yet, here you are. And against all enemies, Democrat and Republican. There are over 90 other kick-ass designs in the store and the links in the description. Your purchase supports the message of freedom on this channel. If you get something out of this content, help me beat YouTube's censorship algorithms by liking and sharing this video. And while you're here, why not watch a couple more of my videos? Until next time, stand firm, stay vigilant, and for the sake of all that is right and good, stop giving your rights away to tyrannical psychopaths who want to destroy this country.